Okay. Now we're recording. All right. Welcome all. Let me share my screen. I'm going to share the notes. I don't have, oops, a ton prepared for this week, so I think we'll just do our normal run through. Start with intros and welcomes. I don't know that I see anyone new, but I think there's someone that I might not have seen before. But I'm not 100% sure. So I'll give everyone here a second if they haven't been here a while. They want to introduce themselves. This is the Kagent community meeting. So it's a weekly meeting for all members of the Kagent community and other communities if they just want to talk about all things AI. So yeah, last week we had Dennis and his team present. That was super awesome. I definitely recommend anyone go back and watch that if they haven't. It was really cool to see. Yeah, so that was last week. So I don't think there are any new faces. So, all right, I guess we can jump right in. So, for those who aren't already aware, we released the new the new 060 release of Kagent. So actually, I'll just put that right here. Yeah. 0.6.0. Oh no, not a capital. Agent release. And this had the first class KMCP support, as well as support for BYO or bring your own agent. Yeah, so with that just got released and it came out yesterday. So I definitely recommend everyone go check that out. We'll probably be doing a follow-up today with some bug fixes. And I actually want to hand it over to Chris because we've been having some conversations and things about just some gotchas that he's run into and some changes that we've made that I tried to document as best as possible, but I definitely missed some things. So thank you, Chris, for pointing them out so we can get those sorted. So I think you're on mute if you're trying to talk or.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, I was just adding a link there. I kind of like did a little,
Oh, okay. Oh, nice.
which were just some of the gotchas that I had when I was deploying it. Mainly, it was just it was just some little mishaps with the docs, but otherwise, it wasn't too bad. Once it was up, it was up. It was good.
Got it. Oh, wow. Upgrade gotchas. Do they belong to the? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The possessive comma. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you, spell check it. It wasn't playing in me.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. So do you wanna talk through any of these or?
I mean, it can do, yeah, for sure. So I upgraded yesterday as soon as it came out, and I had a few issues because I was in the midst of just deploying my own MCP with KMCP anyway, and I only just got that working with the definitions of the MCP server with the old way of doing it. So not doing it through the service, but doing it through the tool server and the streamable HTTP. And then, when I switched to .6, everything kind of just fell over, everything died. And it's because I had agents that I had previously put out there and then hadn't cleaned up. And then that was breaking the controller. So anything that was pre .6 needs to be like killed. Otherwise, it was having a real issue. And then the other one was that so K agents on .6, which is nice and easy, but the KMCP is not on .6. So they're running on different, like one's on Alpha 1 and one's on Alpha 2. So in the manifests, I made the assumption of jumping to Alpha 2 on both, but they're not. So there is a mix of them. And one that an issue that I had that not everyone had based on Discord is when I defined type declarative here in the manifest, it just broke. It wouldn't accept it. But I'm not sure if that's a me problem because I am deploying all of this through Argo, or if that's a general problem. But other than that, that was kind of it. It wasn't that bad. I think it was once I did a full rip out, everything went relatively smoothly.
It's so weird that that wasn't working.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
literally.
yeah, it's very strange. The default in KubeBuilder is declarative, so if you don't specify anything, like you were seeing, it should just work.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. If I had it nested underneath declarative, it was fine. It was purely that one line of type declarative,
right.
and
That's
then it
very
would
weird.
break it. Um,
Huh.
but otherwise,
And yeah, definitely. I would say that I tried to get this across in the in the
yeah,
release notes that we created in the docs. But yeah, I recommend like everything pretty much needs to be upgraded. So and we just so everyone knows, like we did not do any kind of conversion webhook or anything like that because these are all very much alpha CRDs. And so it didn't seem like, like we're still in alpha, right? Like we definitely want people using this, but at the same time, like this is still definitely alpha software. Like there's no API guarantees yet. I think once we start getting to beta, that starts to change. But for now, I think we're iterating quickly. And so I think just for the sake of quick iteration, we decided just to have a doc about it. But yeah, and if you are running this stuff in production already, which hats off to you, and you need a runtime book to upgrade, we can chat offline. But I think so far for the majority of use cases, I think a sort of clean slate is probably okay. Um, so yeah, yeah, but this makes total sense. It's actually I think that I might argue, not argue, but I might bring it up. I think it might be worth having a conversation about changing this group to kmcp.dev or
yeah,
kmcp.kagent.dev or just something to signify that it's really a different group because kagent bumped everything to alpha 1 to v alpha 2 and this is on v1 alpha 1 and that's just they're deployed separately because they live in different places, they have different owners, and so I think it's yeah,
yeah. That would
um,
make sense.
yeah. So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm so glad you were able to get everything to work. Have you tried BYO agents yet or not yet?
No, that was going to be the next challenge. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Once I got the KMCP stuff working and add some of the challenges with the secrets and whatnot, yeah, I was done. So that
Yeah,
was
that makes that that makes
Spring
sense.
Rome will be next. Yeah,
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Um, yeah. So just so yeah, I guess so that's the upgrade. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? Has anyone else upgraded? Where are people at?
No, this is great, Chris. Thank you so much for putting this together. You are ahead of me. I'm on 055. I'm a little bit worried to upgrade, but I'm glad you did it well. So
yeah.
Just follow the doc, see?
Just follow the docs, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll have our person working on docs take a look at this. This is super helpful. Um, Omar, so you have a hand up.
Just a quick question on during the upgrade process. Is upgrading to the new version tied with at the same time deploying the KMCP chart in this case?
So
Is it those hand in hand?
yes and no. So the answer is that Kagent now operates on the KMCP CRDs. So the MCP server CRD, but the actual controller is runs directly in Kagent. So that you don't need to deploy the KMCP operator, but the KMCP CRDs do need to be there. And actually, I think in a follow-up, probably 061 or 062, I'm going to make a PR where if those CRDs are not present, it just skips and doesn't start that controller rather than failing. Because right now it fails, which is, I think, bad. Because like if it's there, it should support it, but if it's not there, I think it shouldn't fail. So, yeah. But anyway, you don't need to
Okay.
deploy. You don't need to deploy the operator. Basically, that's the key point.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course. Anything else? All right. Would anyone like to see a demo of the BYO stuff? I don't remember if I did that last time. Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't mind seeing it.
All right. Okay. That's a lot of thumbs up. All right. I will do that. It's building right now. So yeah, give me a second. I'm just running yeah, I'm running it all locally, so it's doing its thing. So okay. Actually, let me try and just do it from main instead. So one sec. Let me bring up the doc. All right. So agent.dev. All righty. Let's go to docs, agent, getting started, quick start. And we can see if anything is broken this way also. I don't want to use Helm. No, this is CLI. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm gonna install quickly in the background so that you guys don't see my my key, and then I will come back to it in 1 second. So, alrighty. Okay. Oops. Oops, no, I didn't have this one. Okay. All right, 1 second. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Cool. All right. So, then something else, allow to share window. I promise I will make it smaller or bigger. Sorry, just give me 1 second. All right. So, as you can see here, I've got my agents running and my controller, etc. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to deploy our sample. So, if you take a look in as of the new release, if you take a look in Python/samples, there's a new this folder is new. The samples slash this is I'm working on lang graph now. So, but if we take a look at oops, samples slash 80k slash basic, you'll see that there's a folder here. So what we have, who's here is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with 80k, but if you've followed an 80k tutorial before, this will be very similar to that. So the way that 80k typically works is that you create an agent, which is called our root agent, and then you expose it via an init.py like this. And then typically there is a CLI where you basically run, UV run, 80k run, and then the name of your agent. So that is typically how an 80k agent is run. And what it does is it goes into your init file and it finds the agent that you're talking about, and then it loads it and then it runs it. And so what we did was for BYO, we decided to do a very similar UX. So let's take a look at the README. So in the README, it says for the basic agent, it says this is a basic agent that can be used to test Kagent BYO with 80K. And so in order to do this, I've actually used a Google API key. But anyway, and then so all you have to do, it says first we have to build our Docker file. So let's take a look at our Docker file. So it says here that basically what we've done is we've published two things. We've published a Kagent ADK Python library. So I'll go ahead and find that. PyPy Kagent ADK. No, not Google ADK. This one. Oh, why is that? What is Pinwheels? No, PyPy. Hold on, let me find this really quickly. It's right here. I'm just going to put this in the chat. Okay. There is no project description. Oops. All right. Well, I'll fix that. Okay, I'll put this in the meeting chat here. And then, so that's the Kagent ADK Python library, which needs documentation. But essentially, that library has a function here called, oops, gosh darn it, has some logic here, which essentially allows you to run a standard ADK agent via A2A. And so our system under the hood, actually, our declarative agents use this same code under the hood, except that they generate an agent using these models and then run it. Whereas, so if we take a look at the CLI, we have this option called static, and that's what our declarative agents use. But then we also have this option called run. If you see here, what that does is it uses this agent loader, and it loads the agent into memory, and then runs it with our Kagent app. And our Kagent app is essentially a wrapper which builds the necessary components to connect to the Kagent backend to use for session storage, telemetry, stuff like that. And then creates the executor and all of the things that are needed to make the A2A server work with the ADK agent. So it sets up all that stuff as well as health checks and stuff. And it also allows you to test the agent. So, well, and we publish that as a library or as a Docker file. So in the case of our basic agent, we're just going to use the Docker file. So if we take a look at the Docker file for Kagent ADK, you'll see that the entry point is actually a Kagent ADK run with the host set to world and the port set to 8080. So that means that in our basic example here, all I have to do is copy over my code, right? Set the work directory, and then call basic. And the reason I do this, since the entry point is already Kagent ADK run, I'm just passing one more argument. So basically, this is the same as running Kagent ADK run basic -- port 8080 -- host 0000. So that's the same. This is essentially the same thing. So now what I can do is I can actually cd into my Python samples directory, and I can follow the steps in the README. So let me split right. And so what I'll do now is actually I'm gonna do exactly what it says. So I'm not gonna tag it. Oh, actually, I am gonna tag it. And then I'm gonna push it to my local host registry. This is another important change, actually. If you're developing for Kagent locally as of 060, there's a very important change. We now, instead of using kind load, we use the local Docker registry. Now, this should like save about a minute and plus per build, as well as just like it makes a lot of things simpler. But you do now just make sure if you start doing any development on 060, you restart your kind cluster and rebuild it with the make create kind cluster command, because it'll reboot, it'll restart your kind cluster with all the config necessary to connect to your local registry. And you also need to make sure to start your Docker builder with -- network equals host so that it can reach this registry. So those are two things to note. So now I'm gonna build this Docker container. Oh, okay, latest not found. That's probably because we don't tag latest. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass a build arg because I made a mistake. And we're gonna say version equals o dot And so now it's going to go and download the released image version. Thank you for helping me find this bug, everyone. I guess I need to tag latest. So it's going to pull all of that, and it's going to load in my basic agent, and it's going to build it. So let's give that a sec. And it's going to download all my dependencies, and it's going to push it. Omar, you have a question?
Yeah, you said we need to restart the kind cluster. What do you mean with that one?
If you're doing local development specifically, or then you're going to need to restart your kind cluster for development, just because we added a setup kind script, which now specifically it starts a kind registry. It starts a local host Docker registry, and it attaches that Docker registry into the kind cluster. And so there's a lot of stuff in the makefile which will now stop working if you don't first restart your kind cluster.
And this is only required for local development.
Correct. I will say that in general, if you are using kind, this sort of thing is very nice. I would recommend using this anyway, because it allows you, if you're doing any kind of building and running locally, it allows you to skip the kind load step, which I have found takes so freaking long, because it needs to tar it up, copy it over, all this crap. Whereas if it's in the registry, it just is always available. And so I found it to be much faster. Great. So we pushed it. Awesome. So there's our image. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. Oh, wait, do I have that secret? Let's see. I do not have that secret yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second so I can create that secret. But essentially, I am following the README. Actually, I'll just do that in a different window. I can start sharing again. Okay, well, give me 1 second to go do that in a different window. Okay, so now my secret should be there. Got it. Okay, I've got my Kagent Google secret. So that's this step. So now I'm going to apply my agent. And let's take a look at my agent. So what is my agent? It is also type agent, but if you notice here, the type is BYO. So I'm bringing my own, and I'm setting the deployment. I'm setting it my image to the one that I just pushed, and then I'm adding a secret via the environment variable so it can connect to the model. Now, one thing we haven't done yet, I realize, is look at the agent. So let's look at this agent and see what it does. Now, this agent is dumb. It does not do much at all, right? The point of this agent is actually just to show this working, but it really doesn't do much at all. So what does this agent do? Well, it's of type agent. So again, this is more of an ADK detail, and like I can send docs about how ADK works. But I've defined an agent. I've given it the model Gemini 2.0 Flash. I gave it a name, a description, a set of instructions, and some tools. Now, again, all this thing can do is check primes and roll dice. So it's really not all that particularly useful. But the point is that I can write code and run and deploy it and then run it with Kagent, and also store session state. So you don't have to handle any of the. So this thing is just a pure agent function, right? There's no session, there's no anything. Kagent handles the chat, it handles the history, it handles all that stuff for you. So what I'm going to do, so I've got it. So here's my agent. So I'm going to deploy my agent via. I'm gonna. What is this agent? I'm going to apply my agent, and then and watch. Wait. Does anyone remember? Wait. What's the? No. kubectl wait. That's it. There we go. I can wait for my basic agent to be ready, but it can't find basic agent because I probably deployed it in the wrong namespace. Let's see. I did. I deployed it in the wrong namespace, which means that it's incorrect. So I'm gonna delete, and then I'm going to apply it again in the kagent namespace. And then I'm going to watch again. And so it's going to wait for, now it's waiting for the basic agent. That's what it's doing right now. So if I take a look in kagent, you'll see that there is a basic agent coming up. And so it's just loading, it's just waiting for the health checks to pass. Cool. So it's up and running. So I can go ahead and take a look at the basic agent. Oops. And as you can see here, that started the process. It's running on 8080 and it's got the health checks going. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, using the CLI. So dash. Oh no. Well, there are all my keys, so I'll have to delete all of those. God damn it. All right. Well, okay. We're not going to do that. We're going to go to the UI. Why does this always happen to me? Give me 1 second. So I'm going to port forward the UI. And then I'm going to reopen that. All right. I got to restart this. Okay. Oh. It's not happy. Oh, I need to re-add it. 1 second. All right. So I've got the UI running. So let's show that. All right. So here's my UI and here's my basic agent. Now it says it can do anything. That's just a straight up lie. But if you notice here, it doesn't say the model config because it doesn't know the model config, right? It can be anything. It's totally opaque to Kagent itself. So let's chat with my basic agent. Let's see, what can you do? We can roll dice of different sizes and check if numbers are prime. Awesome. Can you roll 7 dice and let me know if the results are prime? I have no idea if this is going to work. I can roll 1 dice. That's great. Okay. This model is really dumb. I'm using Gemini 2.0 Flash, so it probably doesn't realize that it could just. Anyway, so okay. Roll 1 20-sided die and tell me if the result is prime. Great. Got a 15. Checked if prime. Prime it is not. So as you can see here, again, like it's a very basic example, but the point is I was able to spin up a tiny and I think what's worth knowing or noticing or just like pointing out is again I can start a new chat. Hey, what's a prime number? It's gonna have no idea. Or maybe it does. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. So then if I go back to what can you do? It still has all the results. So again, it's basically a generic way to bring your own agent functionality, no matter what that is, with your own tools, own model, etc., and still have all of the Kagent UI backend functionality. So, yeah, that's my demo, and now I'm gonna go delete all my API keys. Oops. Any questions?
Nice. That was pretty cool. The demo, not the shared keys, but the demo.
That's all right. Y'all seem trustworthy.
Yeah. Do you reckon we're gonna stick something up there in the model to say something like that, right? External agent or something like that?
In the what do you mean in the model?
So there, we're underneath basic agent. We would normally have like ChatGPT Mini.
Yeah. So
like just
it looks like right now it just says the image, but yeah, I mean if
it's got the image.
Yeah. But like we could easily put whatever, right? Like that's just Peter did that, but totally we could do whatever whatever we feel is best there.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
If you're
very
trying to use
cool. Quick question: can you use any of the building tools from BYO agent? I know you didn't use any.
So that is such a good question. And right now, so okay, that is such a good question. And the answer is right now you absolutely can, but you have to set it up yourself. So you have to say like I would have to go into the code. So okay, actually I'll just do that. I mean, I'm not going to test it because I'm going to end up showing you my social security number somehow. But we're gonna uh, if if you okay, so if you go into agent, right? Right now, for example, if we take a look at models, models.py, this is actually JSON models. This has nothing to do with LLM models. So this shows you how you can set up MCP tool sets. So there's a concept. Oh yeah, good. So there's a concept here uh, of how you can basically select sets of tools, right, to be used by an agent in ADK. So this is called an MCP tool set, and you have the HTTP tool params and the tools. So let's say, for example, I'm going to do that for mine. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to put this, let's go back to my agent, and I'm going to import MCP tool sets from here. And I want to add an MCP tool set called MCP tools. Oh, wait. Actually, what does the tools have to be? A tool union and an MCP tool set. Okay, well, anyway, the type system's going to be mad at me for a second, so whatever. But then I would put an MCP tool set here. So this is a string. This is just a function type. But anyway, and then I would put an MCP tool set here. And this would take in a connection params and a tool filter. So my connection params here would be like this. I would connect to kagent.dev. Sorry, it would be like kagent namespace or kagent tools.kagent. Port I think it's 8084 or whatever, right? So like basically, because all of the tools are just MCP servers, I can manually connect to them like this. But to your point, Lynn, this is not an amazing UX, right? This is very typical like Kubernetes service UX. So I think potentially we can probably come up with a better way to do this. I don't have any ideas off the top of my head right now. I guess like I don't think we're gonna do it right this second, but I could imagine like, some sort of special, I don't know, like K-agent tool set where you could put the name, which would be like K-agent tools or something, which would be the name of the resource, and then the tools, which would be like K8s star or something, whatever. And so then you would get all of the Kubernetes tools. And we could just like do some magic to inject. But I don't know that that's great. But the point is you can absolutely connect to them. It's just not handled automatically by the system because you're the one setting up the code.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm glad that at least it's potentially possible.
Yeah, of course. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
So the basic agent, people can try it, follow the README too, right? What you just demoed.
Yeah, for sure.
And which K-agent build are you on?
060.
Awesome, thanks. Sounds like I do need to move to 060.
What?
Sounds like I do need to move to 060.
I think you do. It's a pretty cool one. All right. Those API keys are gone for anyone who is trying to be sneaky, which is unfortunate because now I have to create new ones. Cool. And yeah, so like I said, I'm now working on LangGraph as well. So that should be supported hopefully this week, maybe next week, probably next week, just because it's kind of a can of worms. But yeah, I mean, we're really interested in pursuing this line of work further, because yeah, we feel that, you know, the we feel, and we've heard from many people, that the declarative approach is useful, but can only go so far. And so we want to make Kagent really flexible. And you know, in the future, then if everything is running on Kagent through A2A, right, we can offer more, like way more things. Like we can offer, for example, like evals that work with any framework as long as it's deployed with Kagent, right? So those are the sorts of cool things that this feature set starts to enable. Right, people can bring their own existing agents. Yeah, and hopefully, I mean, we would love also, you know, if anyone is working on other frameworks and they want to integrate those, definitely we're interested in that. There's obviously quite a few now, so it's just a matter of making those decisions and prioritizing them. Cool. Well, I'm out of stuff. Root agents / sub agents. Okay, Omar. So you have a couple more questions. Root agent / sub agents. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Can you explain?
Yeah. So last week I did a demo for the company and pretty much showcase on like all the examples that we've been talking in the Discord channel about, like just use it as a GitOps agent that submits a PR for to do Terraform stuff or to do fixes on errors on the cluster, the Slack agent as well. Everyone loved it, and the Kubernetes troubleshooting for sure. Questions that I had that I couldn't answer was were among the lines about just having a root agent that can call other sub agents. You know, the limitation that we hear in the industry, that do not overload the number of tools that you put to for an agent, right? It can be overwhelmed. So it gets to the question about, okay, how about if we just forward the call to another agent? Are we ready for that kind of implementation? Is there anything out there, or is that still being cooked?
Not only are we ready, but it works.
It works.
It works today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in the agent, there's a section where you can add sub agents.
Sub agents, and you will call other agents in Kagent, like pretty much like if it was like any other example on the ADK that it's been from Google, I guess.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. And the other question I got, it's on regards of multi-cluster. So we have many different clusters, and the interest it's on debugging many different clusters, right? I know there has been a few threads where it has been discussed, but I don't know where we at on that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think we have an official stance yet. I think like we're in the phase of this project where we're still trying to like make
one cluster
be really useful and work really well. You know what I mean? And like, so there's definitely like ways that we can do it. You know, I think we can have a design discussion about it maybe on Thursday or something, but it kind of depends. I think there's definitely different ways to do it. Like right now, for example, you could run Kagent without the UI in each cluster. And so you could have like, a bunch of little K agents all over the place. And like you could have a service that connects to those or something like that. Right. Like there are definitely ways to do it right now. But there's no like sort of central brain mechanism. Yeah.
I was even thinking on, because the question was for a Slack call, right? Where, okay, something about there is an alert, okay, investigate this alert. and we have mechanisms where we can track in which cluster the application live. But I was thinking on having first like something that like gets the call, and then, oh, you're coming from cluster A, then call the agent on cluster A to do the research on the cluster, right? Something like that. But there has to be another layer that tracks that. Like where am I going to be investigating this?
Yeah. So because it's all A2A, I mean, you could set up a router that like routes based on the cluster name to the correct K-agent instance. But like I said, again, the UI, there would be no like centralized UI or anything.
Yeah.
But if you used it as an A2A service, right, sort of like a mini K-agent, like a micro K-agent, with that's just the controller, so it's just the server. You could do something like that. Again, I don't.
Okay.
There's no official support, but like that model is, I think, like that's, if I were to do it, that's how I would do it.
Okay.
So, any conversations around integrating N8N? Unfortunately, no. The reason is not anything to do with N8N specifically. Well, it's not to do with the technology, it's to do with the license. I don't know if you've taken a look at the N8N license, but it is a total non-starter for anything. You can't use it, you can't operate it. If you touch it, you spontaneously combust. So we're very interested in integrating workflows and potentially other workflow engines, but unfortunately, N8N is kind of a non-starter.
Yeah, I'm not sure if CNC project would allow with Apache license to use the N8N.
So that's the answer is unfortunately not, but not because we don't think it's cool or anything like that.
So Alma, I noticed you are thinking ahead about multi-cluster. Are you a user of K-Agent? Because we're trying to get people added to the adopted list. We didn't want to miss you if you are.
We are on development and staging, and we show all of those demos that they just work really well, as I mentioned, right? I promise the moment we deploy in one of the production clusters, I will be submitting the PR to add our name on the list. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah,
we're really excited. Yeah, we're really excited, and we're prioritizing the initiative in our team.
Awesome. By the way, this may be helpful to you. I recently put a K-Agent into Istio. It's working pretty well. So you could potentially leverage mesh and gateway to help you do connections through multi-cluster. But like Ethan said, the dashboard will be only operate on individual cluster. Yeah.
And it could be, It could be cool at some point, not this week, obviously, but in the future, if you wanted to demo just a basic Istio plus K-Agent setup with the service graph and stuff.
Yeah. Maybe on the first week in September, because next week I'm traveling. So yeah.
Yeah. No rush. Like, cool. All right. Well, we're 10 before. I think I'm going to call it there unless anyone has any absolutely pressing last second questions. Going once, going twice. Sold. All righty. Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to y'all soon.
Yeah, take care.
Right.
Have a good one.
Thanks.